Hey, are you waking up every day feeling like your body's battling itself? Constant aches, stiffness, that nagging pain that just won't quit? What if I told you a simple, forgotten spice sitting in your pantry could be the key to finally finding relief? I'm 84, and for over a decade, pain was my constant companion, until I tried this. And in just 4 days, my life changed. You have to hear this. If you're tired of pain running your life, hit that like button right now. And for more surprising natural solutions, make sure you're subscribed and have the notification bell on. You won't want to miss what I'm sharing today. At 84 years old, I honestly never imagined something so simple could change me so profoundly. For over 10 years, I lived with pain. First my knees, then my hands, and eventually my back. It wasn't the kind of pain that screams, but it was a shadow following me everywhere. Every step, every movement, it made me slower, more uncertain, and if I'm being honest, just plain tired of everything. I went to doctors, tried countless pills, injections, ointments, endless exercises. Sometimes a tiny bit of relief, but I always ended up right back where I started. One difficult night, sitting quietly, I truly believed this pain was my fate. This is aging, I thought, and I resigned myself to it. But then, something shifted. Just a few days ago, I stumbled upon a simple recipe using turmeric, a spice I'd had hidden away in my cupboard for years. Of course, I was skeptical. How could something so common make a difference after everything else I'd tried? But I thought, what do I have to lose? So I made the mixture. I drank it. And you won't believe it. In just 4 days, the pain began to ease like never before. It didn't vanish completely, but it was enough for me to realize my body still had something to say. That's why I'm here today. I want to tell you exactly what I did, how I prepared it, why I believe it worked, and how you might try it too. Because if this brought relief to someone like me who thought all hope was lost, maybe, just maybe, it can help you too. Before I share all my secrets, I'd love to connect with you. Tell me in the comments. How old are you and where are you watching from? I can't wait to read your stories. It all began with a nagging ache in my left knee. Just a pinch when climbing stairs. I dismissed it as getting older. But months turned into years, and that discomfort became a daily companion. Then it spread to my other knee, my hips, and eventually my hands. Simple things like turning a key or buttoning a shirt became agonizing. My fingers felt stiff, like they belonged to someone else. Sleep became a battle. I'd wake up countless times, desperate to find a position that didn't hurt. Some nights, I'd just lie there waiting for dawn, feeling more exhausted than when I went to bed. I tried everything. Mild painkillers, stronger prescriptions, anti-inflammatories, creams that burned with false hope, weeks of physical therapy. The relief was always fleeting. It was a never-ending cycle, always bringing me back to the same painful spot. I even tried every home remedy, friends' advice, and magazine supplement. Every time someone said, "This helped me," I tried it, clinging to the hope that something could give me back a piece of my body, my energy, my life. But nothing lasted. Nothing felt enough. One afternoon, after a day confined indoors by pain, I looked in the mirror. I saw a tired person. Not just physically, but tired of trying, of waiting, of waking up hoping for a different day only to find it was the same. That's when a sad thought came: maybe this is my fate. Maybe the pain is just part of me now. It felt like giving up. But deep down, a tiny spark of rebellion flickered. Something told me there were still paths to explore. Maybe not the well-known ones, but other ways to seek relief. Not necessarily a cure, but hope. And that was enough to keep me looking. That's how I found myself turning to nature, not as a magic solution, but as a real possibility. And that's how turmeric entered my life. One Saturday, chatting with my niece Helen, I mentioned I couldn't walk for more than half an hour without pain. She's always been incredibly caring. She listened, then quietly said, "Have you ever tried turmeric?" I laughed. "Yes, Helen, it's been in a forgotten jar in my cupboard for years. I used it once in an Indian recipe, but I never thought of it as medicine." She insisted, "Look into it. I'm not saying stop your treatments, but it can help more than you imagine." That night, skepticism still lingering, I sat down and started reading. Simple articles, then serious studies, all pointing to the same thing. Turmeric, the intensely yellow root used for centuries in Ayurveda. Not just a spice, but a natural treatment for pain, inflammation, and boosting the immune system. What truly stunned me was its history. It's been used for over 2,000 years. In India, they call it golden powder. In China, it treated everything from joint pain to digestive issues. And now, even modern medicine is starting to recognize its incredible benefits. I learned about curcumin, its main active ingredient, responsible for its powerful anti-inflammatory effects. It works by blocking molecules that cause chronic inflammation, the same inflammation behind joint pain, fatigue, and many aging ailments. At first, it sounded too good to be true. How could something so common be so potent? Was it just another fad? Then I read a doctor's statement that really hit home. Turmeric isn't a miracle cure, but it's one of the most complete natural anti-inflammatories out there. Taken properly and consistently, it can have real effects on people suffering from chronic inflammation like many older adults. He wasn't talking magic, he was talking real, grounded science that could complement my existing health routine. That gave me confidence. I went back to the cupboard, found that old turmeric jar. I placed it on the table and looked at it as if for the first time. That night I decided to try. I wasn't excited or expecting miracles, but I felt something I hadn't felt in a long time: curiosity. And at this stage of life, curiosity can be the first step to finding hope again. Turmeric looks like ginger but has that vibrant yellow color everyone knows. Inside this root is a very special component called curcumin. This is the substance that gives turmeric its incredible anti-inflammatory properties. To understand it simply, inflammation is your body's natural defense. When you have a wound or infection that's acute inflammation, it's good, it helps you heal. But the problem starts when inflammation doesn't turn off. When your body keeps sending alarm signals even when there's no real danger. That's chronic inflammation. Chronic inflammation is like a slow fire that quietly wears you down, affecting muscles, joints, digestion, even your brain. Many older people like me live with this daily. We get used to constant mild pain, unexplained fatigue, swelling. We don't always connect it to inflammation, but it's often there, silently working every day. Curcumin can block the proteins that cause this chronic inflammation. By doing so, it reduces pain, improves mobility, and helps your body find a more balanced state. It works gradually, without harsh side effects, without stomach upset, and without creating dependency like many medications. It's not about replacing your doctor's treatment, it's about adding a powerful ally. For older people like me, turmeric's effects are especially valuable. Our bodies become more sensitive and medications can be harsher. Natural remedies, when used correctly, tend to be gentler. They don't exhaust the body and fit easily into a daily routine. I remember a phrase that stuck with me: turmeric doesn't work magically. It works as nature does, slowly, deeply, and consistently. That sums it all up. It's not magic. It's science, and it's about consistency. My simple golden milk recipe, step by step. After all my reading, I was ready to try. But I wanted a simple, natural recipe with ingredients I already had. So, I prepared what many call golden milk. Here's what I used. A level teaspoon of turmeric powder. A small pinch of ground black pepper. 1 cup of unsweetened plant-based milk. I used oat, but almond, rice, or even cow's milk works. Half a teaspoon of coconut oil. Extra virgin olive oil works too. A small piece of fresh grated ginger. Optional but highly recommended. The preparation is incredibly simple. In a small saucepan, I poured the plant-based milk. Then I added the turmeric, pepper, ginger, and oil. I put it on very low heat, stirring with a wooden spoon so it wouldn't stick. I made sure not to let it boil, just gently heated it until it started to steam slightly, keeping it that way for about 5 minutes, stirring constantly. Once ready, I strained it through a fine filter to catch any ginger or undissolved turmeric bits. I let it cool slightly and then drank it slowly, savoring each sip. One crucial thing I learned: don't skip the black pepper. It's not just for flavor. Pepper contains a substance called piperine, which multiplies the absorption of curcumin in your body by 20 times. Without it, your body barely takes advantage of what you're drinking. Even just a tiny pinch makes all the difference. I made a few mistakes initially. Trying to use too much turmeric thinking more would be better, it just made the flavor overwhelming and more isn't more effective. The secret is consistency, not excessive doses. I also found that making it on the stove with patience, like a little daily ceremony, works best. I drank it every night before going to sleep. It became my golden cup ritual. The warmth helped me relax, and knowing I was doing something good for myself gave me a feeling of control I hadn't felt in ages. That's the key: consistency, listening to your body, and nurturing it daily. Day 1, I didn't expect anything. I just drank it that night, calmly, like cooking for someone dear. It tasted like earth, like home, like something ancient, but also like doubt. I went to sleep thinking, I have nothing to lose. Day 2, I woke up with my usual stiffness, but when I went to the kitchen, I noticed something subtle. The pain wasn't gone, but I moved more freely. I stepped onto the front porch without holding on so much. By mid-afternoon, my step felt firmer. That night, a little spark of hope lit up inside me. Day 3, even clearer. I woke up with more energy. I didn't have to massage my fingers for 10 minutes to open the window. I walked down the hallway without that constant weight in my knees. The stiffness was less, and more importantly, the fear of moving was leaving. That fear that settles in your body when every movement might bring a sharp pain. In the afternoon, I even bent down to tidy some papers without thinking. I was doing things I'd unconsciously stopped doing. Day 4. This day was emotional. I don't know if it was the turmeric, the cumulative effect, or just the powerful feeling of truly caring for myself. But that day I felt in control of my body again. I moved confidently. I made breakfast, walked around the yard, and even called my niece, Helen. She listened happily and said, "See, Uncle? Sometimes what truly heals isn't in the pharmacy, but right there in your kitchen." That night, going to bed, I felt a deep peace I hadn't felt in years. Not because the pain had vanished completely, but because for the first time I felt something was changing. My body wasn't broken, it had just been waiting for a signal to react. After so many years, my body felt like mine again. It wasn't a miracle cure, but it was a beginning, an awakening, a powerful reminder that even at 84, there are still paths worth exploring. If you're suffering, waking up with aches that steal your joy, I understand. I've been there. I know what it feels like to be tired of pain, tired of searching. But please don't lose your curiosity. Try this not out of desperation but out of possibility. Not with blind faith but with an honest question. What if this really helps me? I don't promise miracles. I'm not here to tell you everything will change overnight. But I do want to remind you, pain doesn't have to be your lifelong companion. Sometimes relief comes not from grand solutions, but from small habits, simple choices, a cup you prepare with your own hands. So if you feel it, try it for yourself. And if it's not this remedy, let it be another. But never stop looking for what makes you feel good, what gives you back a part of yourself you thought was lost. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you tried natural remedies like this for pain relief? What was your experience? Tell me in the comments below. I'd love to read your stories and know what has helped you on your journey. And if you know someone struggling with chronic pain, please share this video. You have no idea how much it could change their day, their week, their life. Finally, make sure you're subscribed to our channel to keep discovering ways to live better with more freedom, more wellness, and more peace. Because no matter your age, every year counts and every small step toward relief counts too.